Like I said, this is the second quarter. The application cycle throughout the year has an annual application. So for example, if you have ongoing programming throughout the year, that is going to be your best application cycle. We also offer quarterly application cycles. Right now we're advising that, and it's not a requirement, so you will not be kicked out, but think about when you're planning, look 120 days out. So if you have an event, count back 120 days. That ensures enough time for the process. And the process includes receiving applications, putting packets together, having the committee deliberate. You all come in and present, which Denise will talk more about, the approval of the contract, and then actually executing the contract. So we don't want you to be in a bind with your event approaching quickly and not having a contract, because the contract has to be in place for you to receive reimbursements. And so the deadline, and the other thing that has been in place for some time is, while the deadline for the funding application is August the 1st, am I saying that right? Yes. That means the eligibility application, there's two steps. Eligibility application is due 2 weeks prior to that. So please write down July 18th. Is when the eligibility application will be due, and we're going to reiterate that a little bit later.
To be eligible for NTDF funds, you must be a not-for-profit incorporated in the state of Missouri. That's very important. And let me say this, typically when you are turning in your eligibility packets, for those of you who have done it before, we would ask for a certificate of good standing, we would ask for your tax clearance, in addition to board member information and all of that. We've decided not to ask you for those items anymore, the certificate of good standing and the tax clearance, and there's a reason for that. One, it saves on your foot traffic, and two, we have begun to partner with our procurement department as far as executing contracts, and they will be looking up to make sure that you are in good standing, that your tax clearance is indeed intact. So we all have help. And you must meet the city's contracting standards. One of the things that has most recently changed is, if you guys will remember, you always had to have not only your insurance, but you had to have a memorandum of understanding from Homeland Security, and you had to sign and have notarized the affidavit. Now, if you receive under $5,000, when you come for your contract signing, you only need to bring your proof of insurance. If you receive $5,000.99, then you need to go through and get the MOU. You need to have that employee affidavit signed and notarized. So that's one of the plus. Here are some examples of eligible projects: music events, art festivals, neighborhood festivals, exhibits, home tours, movies in the park, rodeos, bike race and tours, tournaments, and parades. Here are a few examples of ineligible projects: ongoing daily operational activities of neighborhoods and organizations, events for groups that reflect or enhance political parties, events for candidates and office holders, Events for request for funds to be used in supplemental publicly supported operating costs. Events not open to the public. And events do not clearly appeal to local residents, tourists, or visitors.
We're looking for great events. We're looking for events that you in your area or your neighborhood or part of the city that will draw people to that area and promote that area. Not only promoting that area, but promoting Kansas City as well. So we're always looking for great events. I should have prefaced this by saying what a wonderful attendance this is. And I think that anybody that's been involved in this process, I don't think you've seen such a proactive effort from staff. For them to reach out and have this kind of an attendance, I think you see the turning of the tide of staff support in this situation. So my compliments to them and you for your attendance. Back to the committee part is, we are, because of these workshops and because of the new emphasis, this is a grant process. So in anybody that's done grant processes, you know you have to cross your T's and dot your I's. And those details are observed in the committee process, because if you can't show us that you can do an application process, then it's kind of a perception that, well, how well run will this event be if they didn't fill out their application? There's applications that come in with just a signature and $1 amount, and that's all they put forward, and we're like, that's not an investment. You know, and then also just the accuracy of those applications. There's always been a perception is, oh, I need $10,000 for my event, so I'm going to ask for 20, see what happens. I can tell you that good applications and good presentations often are fully funded. So it can be read between the lines, the return on investment of things, of what it does for the neighborhood, the amount of people it does draw in. It's not just the traditional convention and tourism, heads and beds and butts and seats of restaurants, but that is a factor. We cannot take that factor out of that, of what it draws in there. But your example is you might not be attracted to someone else's block party or something like that. It has to have that catch that brings in tourism to not only your neighborhood, but is a compliment to them.